This video is made possible by Practical Defense Systems, the best online security training at the lowest prices. You can start your security career today online at pdsclasses.com. Check them out. Hi, I'm Joel Persinger. I'm the Gun Guy. Thank you very much for all of your support of GunGuyTV. I'm very, very grateful. Please don't stop. Now listen, before I get started, in the next few days, in fact, it's coming up on Thursday evening at 6 p.m., on GunGuyTV Crew, we'll have the next 2A Patriot virtual conference, and this one will be with Rick Travis from the California Rifle and Pistol Association. Rick's going to join me so that he can answer your questions directly. It's going to be a great conference. This, I think, is the third or fourth one we've done, and it is terrific. You can access it on GunGuyTV Crew. So if you're not a member of the crew, go to the description, because in the description there's a link for GunGuyTV Crew where you can join. And if you didn't get a chance to visit during the earlier 2A Patriot conferences, those have been recorded and posted there for you. So GunGuyTV Crew is the place to be. Go sign up today, where you'll find content you won't find anywhere else. Today I'm going to bring up a pistol I've brought up before, and actually I did a great video on it earlier, so I'll put a link in the description for that so I don't retread the same thing. Why do I have a P38? Well, the reason why I've got a P38, one is because they're cool. This is the same P38 I did the earlier video with. The issue now is that I've gotten so many people email me or text me or contact me through Facebook or through some social media site or whatever, asking me about, I've got this older gun, can I use it to defend myself? And one of the ones that's come up periodically, because there's so many of them out there, are P38s or P1s, the later versions of them. Well, the easy answer is yes, of course. They were used in war and used by the German military in one fashion or another until the early 2000s. I think they stopped using them in 2003 or 4 or 5, right around in there. They've been using them that entire time. Now, the pistols have changed a lot over the years. This is obviously not a wartime pistol. This is a post-war pistol, and you can tell in several ways. One, it has an aluminum frame, not a steel frame. The grips are plastic, not Bakelite or wood, and there's a bunch of other indicators there. However, is it a useful tool to defend yourself? Sure, particularly if you like guns like the Beretta 92FS, which is very similar in its design, and this is actually kind of a forerunner of that. If you like those kind of pistols, a double action, single action pistols, or if you just happen to have this one and you feel like you want to defend yourself with it or use it for home defense, or even a carry gun, there's lots of holsters available. And the magazines, I would think, are not terribly difficult to find. So yeah, can you use it for that? Absolutely, it would work admirably. There are a couple of warnings here I would give you. One is that you don't want to fire plus P ammunition through these. Standard 9mm ammunition is going to work fine. Anything that's at the pressure range of standard ball ammunition is going to run through these like a Swiss watch all the time. They're very good guns. This one is kind of a neat gun in the sense that you will find them in different configurations. So let me point out some things on this particular gun. This gun, for example, like I said, it's marked P38. You'll see the Walther insignia there. That didn't appear on the wartime guns as far as I know. You may find an example with it, and if you know more about P38s than I, please chime in the comments, because I want to make sure we're doing things accurately here. And I'm by no means a firearms historian or an expert, for that matter, on P38s. But these were made after the war. Some of them were made for civilian use, some of them were designed specifically for military use. This one, if I flip it over for you, I can show you the other side. You can see that the date on it on the slide says May of 1960. So that's when this gun was manufactured. And this gun does not have some of the features that may have come along a little after that. For example, you'll notice on the slide that the slide has striations or grooves behind the safety decocker, but not in front of the safety decocker. And that's because this does not have the reinforced slide. You'll find that if you look on some of the ones that have markings in front of the decocker as well, the slide's just a little bit thicker, a little heavier, and a little bit more reinforced. The other thing you won't find on this pistol is the bolt or the pin that runs from one side of the other of the frame right above the trigger. that was put there to reinforce the frame because they had the frame cracking problems with heavier ammunition. So if you have one that doesn't have that, it's going to be more prone to the frame cracking if you use plus P ammunition in it, for example. So stay away from that. Just use standard range ammo. If you want to see how to break these pistols down for cleaning, it's very, very simple. They're a super simple, rather easy design, actually. All you have to do is lock the slide back. So push it back and then push up here on the slide stop, and that'll lock it in place. Then there's this little takedown lever right here, and you'll notice there's a groove right here that the slide, it's cut out right here so that the slide can pass by it. Then you got to release the slide. At this point, this is the disturbing part for some people. You do have to pull a trigger, so you do want to, like any time, you want to make sure the gun's unloaded before you do any of this. And then once the trigger is depressed and the hammer has been dropped, the slide will just come right off the gun and just slide it right off. Now, I haven't cleaned this gun. I just got back from the range, so it's a little dirty. I'm going to end up with some residue on my hand probably. Now, once you've got it broken down to this point, you'll see that the barrel just comes right out. That's just about as easy as it gets. And below the barrel is this little part right here that pops right out. And if you can look closely, maybe you can see that there's a little device right there that holds it in place. I'm not a gunsmith, so I know I'm using incorrect nomenclature probably, but I do know how to clean a gun, so I'm showing you that. So once you have this all cleaned, you can just pop that right back in place. It just slides back up in there, and then you just got to get it lined up and pushed back in, which at this moment, there we go, is a little tougher for me than it normally is. Trying to do it in front of a camera, that makes a difference, I guess. All right, once this is together, then you can put the gun back together. I do want to show you before I do that unlike many firearms you might run into, rather than having one guide rod and one return spring, this gun has two. It has one on this side and one on this side. So if you want to take them out, which I'm not so sure I recommend, you have to use a punch or pin or something to push the spring forward and then pull them out to the rear. So there you are, the gun taken apart nicely for cleaning. Now, when it comes time to put it back together, you take this part and snap that back in there, and it should pop right back in, unless you're doing it on camera and then it wants to argue with you for some reason. Okay, and then when you want to take the barrel and put it back in the slide, you want this to be hanging down because there has to be space for this to slide on the grooves inside the slide. So you line it up, if I can do it on camera here, and slide it forward. Now, the hammer will not, or the barrel rather, will not stay there unless you push this up. It's going to get shoved out of there by the slide. You don't want to do that. So you want to push that back up again, line the slide back up with the frame. Again, I'm trying to do this on camera, which is not as easy as it first appears. And then once you get it on the frame, there you go, you're going to want to push this down. I don't know if you can see that or not. So I'm holding, you'll notice I'm holding the little lever here on the hammer up, and I'm going to push this down and slide the slide right over the top of it, and the gun goes right back together. So it requires a little dexterity, but it's not too terribly difficult. And then once you get that done, you're going to lock the slide back all the way to the rear again, and then take your takedown lever and push it back into position. And then you can let the slide forward, and you can drop the hammer using the decocker if you want, or you can let it down manually, whatever you want to do, and your gun's put back together again. So really, when you think about the fact that this design goes back to World War II, it really is very reminiscent of a lot of modern pistols, and many of the engineering designs that went into putting this pistol together and making it work still live on today. That's a testimony to what a great design this P38, or P1 if you happen to have one of those, really is. The other thing I should probably show you is the magazines, because if you happen to have one that is a P38 but you have magazines marked P1, they'll still work beautifully. You will notice that both of these magazines are indeed marked P1, and yet this gun runs like a Swiss watch with these magazines, so I wouldn't worry about that. You'll also notice on the back of the magazines, you'll see the date that they were manufactured. So if you look at these two magazines, you'll see that they were manufactured on different dates, but the dates are there, and the magazines are actually numbered, which is kind of cool. Now, these are obviously Walther magazines designed specifically for this gun. Now, if you'd like to know more about the history of the gun, or you want to know about the design of the gun or any of that kind of stuff, you can see that in the original video I did. I'll put a link in the description. I don't want to go through it all over again. There's no need to do that. It's in the previous video. Suffice it to say, these are outstanding guns. You can use them admirably to defend yourself. They've been used in many battles and wars and been battle tested by the German army repeatedly, so they're great guns. Would I use it to defend my family if I had to? Absolutely. The trick is take it to the range and practice with it. They're a full-size pistol. It's a full-size duty pistol. These are lighter because they're aluminum frame. They're probably 6 ounces lighter or so than the other ones, I would think, 5 or 6 ounces. I didn't check the weights on them than the wartime ones with the steel frame. So that makes it a little easier to handle, but even so, they're a nice hefty gun. The recoil on them is minimal. I mean, it's very, very mild, super easy to keep on target. This is one of 2 or 3 of this particular type of gun that I've fired over the years, and they all, every last example I've tried, all shoot low. And so many people I've seen have taken the front sight and taken some material off the front sight until they can get it to shoot where it's aimed. The gentleman that owns this didn't do that. He just painted the front sight at the point where he wants to have that indexed on the top of the back sight to shoot and actually hit what he's shooting at. And I did try that in the range, and I found that that actually worked very well. I think for me, I would go ahead and adjust the sight, but he has chosen not to, and it's, after all, it is his gun. Well, anyway, there it goes. I hope this helped you. If you have a P38 or you have some other wartime handgun, if it's in great shape and you can use it to defend yourself and you know how to shoot it, then yeah, would it work? Absolutely. That's why it was in wars. The thing I would caution you about is if they're older guns, oftentimes they're not accustomed to our new high pressure ammunition. So you want to be careful putting plus P ammunition or high pressure ammunition through these older firearms. Other than that, if you put ammo through them that they're designed to fire, most of them will run like a Swiss watch and defend you admirably. All you got to do is take them to the range and practice. Well, there you go. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to join GunGuyTV crew so you can join us for the 2A Patriot Conference coming up on Thursday evening at 6 p.m. with Rick Travis. It's something you don't want to miss. Join the crew today. Whatever you do, wherever you go, stay safe.